Hi everyone, welcome to Lola's Frugal Life. This is episode number 192. Today we're going to be talking about embracing delayed gratification to help you achieve your financial goals. So please stick around for a few quick words from our sponsor and we'll get right into the show. Okay, so today we're going to talk about embracing delayed gratification so that you can use that to your advantage to help you in achieving your financial goals. So practicing delayed gratification is the act of resisting instant gratification in order to be able to get a better reward later. So I'm sure many of you have heard of the marshmallow experiment. That was where they had kids that were offered one marshmallow now, or if they waited a period of time for the researcher to leave and then come back, they could have two marshmallows. So they were kind of like given that choice, do I just take one now or can I just wait it out till this person comes back and then I can have two? And they did some research with follow-up studies, and they found that the children that were able to wait and get the second one had an overall better life outcome. This study's been disputed. They've done different types of similar studies, and some say there's not a definite connection and whatever. But I just thought it was kind of fun to mention that experiment because it's brought up a lot, and it kind of ties into this. It was research on delayed gratification and the impact it has. But either way, whether that study proved it or not, I definitely do agree that there are so many benefits to practicing delayed gratification and really kind of making it part of your mindset, I guess, just to kind of help you in getting goals and really being focused on the things you're trying to get to in the future, whether that be short-term or long-term. So, delayed gratification is a skill that's really important. And it can be practiced and improved over time by being mindful of your actions. So I think that it is possible to get instant gratification from delaying gratification. So for example, it's kind of hard for me to explain this, but one way I can think to use as an example is say you typically go to the store to pick something up, maybe a store like Target or Walmart or whatever, that type of a store. And, maybe while you're walking around, you get tempted with some impulse items and you get home, you take another look at the receipt and you're like, oh my gosh, how did I just spend $70 when I only went to the store to pick up dishwasher detergent? So the items might have seemed fun when you grab them. You were walking through the store, you're like, oh, let me just take a quick look around, and you grabbed a few other things, and you're like, oh, this is great, I could really use this, or this is really nice for a decoration for my home, or whatever it is. You grab some extra things that you really didn't need. So you get home, you're looking at the receipt again, and you're like, wow, I never would have even got these things had I not gone to the store for dishwasher detergent. And it might wind up bothering you because now maybe you're over budget or you just really didn't want to spend that money. You really didn't need those things. So say instead, when you go into Target, you're like, or whatever store you're going into, you tell yourself, I'm going to go into the store. I'm going to go straight to the dishwasher detergent. You're going to walk straight to the aisle, grab it, go to the register, pay, and leave. So if your habit had always been grabbing extra things and leaving with a receipt of $70, $80, $100, whatever, when you go to the register and you pay $10 and leave, you're going to get instant gratification from doing that. You're going to get the same type of feeling, but even better, because you're gonna feel great that you changed your what you would normally do, and you controlled your impulse to buy extra things. And when you're leaving the store and you just spent $10 and you're heading back to your car, it's a great feeling doing that. Like, you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, I controlled my spending impulses, and I walked out and I spent only what I needed, and I didn't get any extra things that I didn't want or didn't need. Not that you didn't want, you probably wanted or you wouldn't buy them in the first place, but you didn't get anything that you really didn't need and you didn't plan on purchasing. So that's kind of how I explain instant gratification from delayed gratification. If you acknowledge each time you make that choice, you can feel like really great about yourself for making those choices. So it's really just kind of thinking about it and being mindful of when you are making those choices, and really acknowledging yourself for doing that and being happy about it. So some ways to kind of help practice in developing delayed gratification and just kind of like strengthening that skill. One way is to really track your financial goals. Of course, delayed gratification can be used in many different ways, but I'm kind of focusing it on financial goals. So one way to help you kind of embrace this is in tracking your goals and tracking your progress and celebrating milestones along the way. If you just work and save and you get no rewards along the way, it can become really difficult to keep going and continue making progress on your goals. You want to be able to enjoy your life while you're working on your financial goals. So by setting up some type of mechanism to track your goals and set milestones to celebrate can make it really fun to watch your progress and make it much more enjoyable to keep going rather than just saying, okay, by the end of 10 years, I want to have this much money saved for retirement or whatever your goal is that you're working on. Maybe even if you have just like regular savings goals, you're saving up for whatever. Maybe you're saving up for a car or you're saving up for a down payment on a house or a vacation. Maybe set milestones. I don't know, maybe if it's something smaller, every time you hit $1,000 or $500, you acknowledge that and you say, hey, we hit this next goal, and you celebrate and you acknowledge it and you talk about it. And celebrating doesn't have to mean going out and spending money on a dinner. You can just celebrate without purchasing anything. Or maybe you get like a special little, I don't know, like an inexpensive bottle of wine or, soda, like something that you don't normally get. Just something to have fun and celebrate it and acknowledge that you're achieving these things, because you don't want to just say, okay, this is how much I have to put aside, and at this amount of time I have to have this much, and then you just never really acknowledge how far you've come. So it's important to track your goals and watch your progress and acknowledge those milestones. Another way to embrace delayed gratification is don't let other people's priorities come your own. So just because your new neighbor got a new car doesn't mean you suddenly need a new car. If it wasn't important to you before they got it, it shouldn't be important now. So now this is an extreme example, but it's more just proving the point of that sometimes people can see someone got something and then they're like, oh, well, I want that. Maybe someone's renovating their home and now you're like, oh, well, I want to renovate my home. Or it could be something as simple as someone got these new cool shoes and now you want those new cool shoes, or whatever it is. Don't let other people's priorities become your own. Really think about if it's something you truly want and you truly need, because by keeping your priorities in line with what you really want, it helps you not make those impulse purchases that can lead to not meeting your financial goals and not practicing delayed gratification. You also want to you definitely want to practice being more intentional with your purchases. When you see something you'd like to purchase on impulse, try to allow yourself some time to consider if this is really how you want to use your money. One way to do this is to make a list of things you want to purchase instead of purchasing them right away. So this will give you some time to reconsider if this is something that you really want to spend your money on, or if it was just something that you thought was really cool in the moment and now you're like, I don't know if I even really need that or want that, or maybe there's a better option or a more inexpensive option or a better quality or whatever. So just really be intentional with your purchases and make sure that you are spending your money how you want to, in line with your goals, and that you're delaying making purchases that not delaying making purchases that you don't really need. You don't ever want to make purchases that you don't really need, but you're really kind of making sure that anything that you can not purchase now because you don't really want or need so much and it's not in line with your priorities, that you are holding off on that so you can achieve these longer term goals and embrace that, delaying that reward until later. I've often heard this said too, and I'm sure you have also, but it's a saying, you can have anything you want, but you can't have everything you want. So with limited resources available to all of us, it's really important to remember that each time you make a purchase, at the same time, you're making a decision not to purchase something else. So if you can try to make each purchase decision with this in mind, it can really help you be more mindful of how you're spending your money. So just consider, just think about that. If I go into the store now and I buy this I don't know, $5 latte or something, that's $5 that's not going to go into my savings account right now. And maybe that's what you want to do. That's totally fine. But it's just making sure that you realize you're making those choices. So one final thought I have on this is that, when you work hard for something and you practice patience in achieving short-term and long-term goals, when you finally achieve the goal, there's so much more enjoyment out of the whole experience than by just purchasing anything you want whenever you want. There's more of an appreciation for what you're doing. Like, this can be anything from saving up for dinner, not for dinner, for a dinner out, a day trip, a vacation, even saving for retirement. Like, whatever it is, it's just a different feeling when you've been waiting and putting aside money for these things because they're important to you. And when you finally achieve those goals and hit those different benchmarks, it's going to feel really good that you did that. So you are going to get those rewards. You're just getting some smaller rewards along the way, and then you're going to hit those bigger rewards. So I think of all of these tips, I really feel like the celebrating the milestones along the way is probably the most important, because I feel like that gives you enjoyment throughout your life in achieving these things, and it replaces what enjoyment you might feel like you would get from purchasing or spending money on other things that don't allow you to achieve those goals. So instead of getting that instant reward from making a purchase, or maybe going out to a dinner that's going to prohibit you from meeting your other goals, rather than getting the enjoyment out of that dinner, you're going to get the enjoyment of showing yourself that you've met these goals and that you're achieving these milestones along the way. So I just think it's really important to kind of practice and think about it, because it's not something that just happens. You have to really make it purposeful to think about this and be really mindful with your purchases and say, well, these are the goals I want to achieve, and if I just wait, I can have these things in the future. And like I said, these don't have to all be long-term goals. Even like a vacation, when you save up money for a vacation and you have exactly what you need to pay for the trip, to pay for any dining out you're going to do, anything related to the vacation, souvenirs, things like that, and you go on that vacation, okay, you've delayed gratification because you've been giving up things along the way so that you could put money aside for this vacation. And then when you're on the vacation, you don't have any guilt about spending the money on the things that you are spending money on, because you already put money aside specifically for those things. So you knew that was your priority, you put money aside for it, and now you're getting the reward later because you did that. So that's it. That's all I have to say about embracing delayed gratification and helping you achieve your financial goals. But I do think it's really important. So it's really just something to kind of think about and maybe see if you can add some practices to kind of help develop that skill. So that's it for today. If you have any suggestions or any comments or anything you'd like to reach out to me for, you can reach me at facebook.com/LolasFrugalLife. You can message me there, post something to the page. You can also email me at lolasfrugallife@gmail.com. We also have a private listeners group. I would love to have you there. You can find that group at facebook.com/groups/LolasFrugalLife. Just submit a request to join, and I check it pretty much every day, so I will admit you to the group as soon as I see your request. We have a really nice group of people in there, so I'd love to have you join that group. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy this podcast, and if you have time to leave a rating, a review, that would really help me out. It's supposed to really help in the show coming up better in search results when people are looking for something like this. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a really awesome day.